News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Doug Krisner. The Chinese government says it will not back down in the face of a renewed tariff threat from President Trump. Last week, Trump suggested new levies on Chinese imports of 100%. He also said the U.S. would impose export controls on any and all critical software beginning November 1st. Now, these moves came after China imposed export curbs on rare earth minerals. Today, Beijing said the U.S. should stop issuing threats, and it urged further negotiations. At the same time, the Ministry of Commerce said China will not hesitate to retaliate. In the States, Vice President J.D. Vance called on Beijing to choose the path of reason.
It's going to be a delicate dance, and a lot of it is going to depend on how the Chinese respond. If they respond in a highly aggressive manner, I guarantee you the President of the United States has far more cards than the People's Republic of China. If, however, they're willing to be reasonable, then Donald Trump is always willing to be a reasonable negotiator. We're going to find out a lot in the weeks to come about whether China wants to start a trade war with us or whether they actually want to be reasonable.
Vice President J.D. Vance speaking on Fox News' Sunday Morning Futures. Also today, in a post on Truth Social, President Trump said, "Don't worry about China. It will all be fine." The president is traveling to the Middle East to seal a deal to end the war in Gaza. He will also greet the Israeli hostages in Jerusalem. They are expected to be released by Hamas in the next 24 hours in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Now, the Israeli government said the process is expected to begin Monday morning local time. Here is Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu speaking through a translator.
People didn't believe that it was going to happen, but so many of our people did, and I believed. I know there are many controversies amongst us, but on this day, and hopefully in the near future, we've got every reason under the sun to put them to one side.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu through a translator. Now, as part of the first phase of the ceasefire deal, Israeli forces have withdrawn to a new defensive line inside Gaza, and thousands of displaced Palestinians are heading back to Gaza City. At the same time, increased humanitarian aid is expected to begin flowing. In the States, the government shutdown is approaching 2 weeks, and President Trump has started firing federal workers, but he vowed to continue paying members of the military. Meantime, there are no signs of breaking the impasse between Republicans and Democrats in Congress. Arizona Democratic Senator Mark Kelly says a vote from Republican lawmakers to extend health care subsidies will not alone be enough to reopen the government. Here is Kelly speaking on NBC's Meet the Press.
We need a real negotiation, and we need a fix. We need this corrected for the American people. This is for so many people. Their health care is running towards a cliff, and if we don't fix this, it's going to go right over it.
That was Mark Kelly, Arizona Democratic Senator, speaking to NBC's Meet the Press. We move to business news next. Warner Brothers is pumping the brakes on a takeover offer from Paramount Skydance. More from Bloomberg's Monica Ricks.
Warner Brothers has rejected an initial takeover offer from Paramount Skydance for being too low. The offer, reportedly around $20 a share. On Friday, Warner Brothers stock was trading just over $17 a share, valuing the company at $18.6 billion. Bloomberg has reported Paramount's talking to asset manager Apollo Global about backing its bid, but it could also explore other financing options or go directly to shareholders. Warner Brothers plans to split into two businesses, focusing on cable TV and streaming and studios next year. Monica Ricks, Bloomberg Radio.
The annual meetings of the IMF and the World Bank will happen this week in Washington. We have a preview from Bloomberg's Amy Morris.
19 of the World Bank's 25 executive directors issued a joint statement ahead of their meeting affirming their support for the bank's continued work on climate change. The executive directors for the U.S., Russia, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia all declined to sign, and Reuters reports Japan and India abstained as they're both negotiating trade deals with the U.S. Now, attendees are expected to discuss growing social and political instability and international discord over trade. Analysts say these meetings will take place at a pivotal time for the future of the IMF and World Bank. In Washington, Amy Morris, Bloomberg Radio.
And that is News When You Want It with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Doug Krisner, and this is Bloomberg.